Hi, morning everyone. Richard here. I'm out at the football area, out to shoot some birds. But before that, I'm going to use the 400mm f4.5 with the 2x stereo converter on my Z6 III, right? But you know that I have been posting about an issue when I use the 400 f4.5, whether with the hood or without the hood. With the TC, when the light goes in and goes past this stereo converter, it shows a purple center flare in the sensor, right? So at this one, whether with hood, no hood, whether I'm pointing at the sun or not at the sun direction, as long as there's a black contrast on the bird and the white background like that, there would be a purple spot right in the center. So that attributes only on the 2x stereo converter, doesn't affect on the 1.4. I've used this on a 100 600, doesn't have that. It only, for me, for my experience, is only on this one. Without the stereo converter, don't have that purple issue. So I suspect when the light passes through here, the stereo converter, the cross point where the lens focus the light is pointing very densely because of the light spectrum, right? It densely hits the sensor, right, smack in the center. I think it's quite too intense, right? So, and in the white balance setting on the exposure setting on the camera, you can choose control the white as well as the dark, or it's just based on more on center spot exposure or overall multi exposure, right? So I've tried different settings on that and it gives different, whereas the purple is still there, whether how intense it is. So I did some testing and trying to reduce it, and I found that a magic hack. So let me show you how the 2x look like, right? So this is the 2x stereo converter, which I have a problem with because in the 1.4 the aperture is a bit bigger. Even on another brand, the 2.0 teleconverter is bigger, right, the aperture, but on the Nikon is very small. Okay, so this is the back part, and this is the bulb. You see is curved. That's the part where they focus. So I suspect this curved part, the closest curved part to the sensor, it does cast a special shadow in terms of light or intensity. There's too much to the sensor, and maybe the sensor, the way it reads it, it enhances that spectrum of light and shows up as purple. So what I found out with this simple mod, this is, let me show you this. This is a 12mm extension tube. Okay, this is the Richart 12mm extension tube. So what happened is when I put this in, it gives me four effects, right? So one, because of the 12mm, it pushes away the bulb area of the rear of the teleconverter from the sensor. So it's further from the sensor, and that allows the purple area to be diffused wider. When it diffuse wider, I don't have so much of it on my image spot in the center, but it is very much diffused. When you edit, you can see slight purple still there, but it doesn't show up so obvious on the black spot on the bird or the shadow or the wings because of the distance now. So because the distance is further and the purple is diffused, so I solved that problem. So I don't have so much of the problem when I'm pointing at the birds flying or any light background like that with the dark bird body. So that's the one advantage, right? Second advantage I accidentally found out, of this is the I have had this problem with the 400mm with the teleconverter. It seems to back focus, right? So it seems to infinite focus is not sharp. Is something is not right about it, right? So when I put this, I found the focusing to be sharper, right? So that means is brought forward the focusing because extension tube brings the focusing closer. So on top of that, when I track birds flying, from the sky down when it goes down to the water surface and everything. They're flying over the water. So now I found that with this extension tube on the teleconverter, I'm able to track the bird even over the water where the water shimmers and things like that. So that's side effect. Second side effect, right? So you have first one, my purple is gone. Then the infinity focus seems to be better, and the tracking on the video on the water surface and glimmer with even with branch backgrounds while the bird flying, it sticks on the bird better than without the extension tube. Now the best one, which I love it, we know then when we use the teleconverter, the the IS, the stabilization isn't that good when I'm shooting handheld video. It's a bit janky when you use the teleconverter. So what happened is with the extension tube, the stabilization is better. Can you imagine that? I didn't expect it, but the video stabilization handheld when the bird is just perched on the tree. Previously it was like very jerky when I'm trying to stay focused on that bird perch. Now it's more stable. It doesn't jerk around, it doesn't jump around. So that's the four benefits of using the 12mm extension tube on the teleconverter. Okay, one more, forgot. The point and the other thing of using the extension tube is the image without the extension tube is just say is this size. When I'm using this, the image when further or closer, when it's closer it's even bigger. I would think another 10% bigger the image. So if it's further, the largeness will be slightly smaller, maybe 0.5 5%. But when you're closer to the subject without the extension tube, it's just say 100%. It's another 10% on top of that if you have the extension tube. So it does have a lots of benefits. So let's look at the photos on this. Focusing on that bug there, the tree bug there. So let's shoot the video. Okay, on the camera you can see the bug is exposed, right? So the thing is, when I make the exposure higher, okay, normally the bug will turn very purple in the center, right? So this is now with the extension tube. Let's do it again without the extension tube. Okay, now this is without the extension tube. Yeah. So I'm going to start recording. You can see the purple right in the spot in the center without the extension tube. So let's increase the exposure. Right. So you can see there the purple is there. It's very odd. I think it's just the behind bulb version of that teleconverter, the curvature part that's very near to the sensor that causes this purple coming out. So with the extension tube, this purple is no longer there. Hảo嘅呢個，好惡嘅呢個。啊，慢慢行，慢慢行，我跟你未？真係好彩喎！你小心唔好跌落邊度啊！我準備飛咗，準備飛咗。慢慢行，慢慢行。應該睇到我哋咗，就嚟飛啊！就嚟飛啊！睇到我哋咗，睇到我哋咗。 So okay, hope you like the photos and the videos. So very good. So I managed to solve the purple flare spot in the center of the pictures in the dark side, dark shadow areas when you have a very bright backlight. Either is from facing the sun or not facing sun, it doesn't matter, because that's the design of the teleconverter. The back part is bulbous, which means the center part of the lens is very curved near to the sensor, so that creates a purple shadow cast or flare onto the middle of the sensor and give very purple color somewhere there. So when I put the this one 12mm extension tube in it, and it moves the teleconverter further away from the sensor, it diffuses. It has enough time for the light to diffuse over the sensor, and then there goes the purple. So that's good thing. So technically this lens is now 800mm f10 instead of f8, or instead of f9. So it's 4.5 times 2 is supposed to be f9, but because of the extension tube, probably is now f10. So it's 800 f10 aperture. And the thing is, no purple. I can shoot into the sky, don't even need hood or anything. This lens is good, just that the teleconverter is very oddly designed for this to match this lens. So as you can hear, the eagle is still up there. I'm going to get a few shots of that, and hope you like the pictures and videos. Do subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, have a nice day.